Straight away, I didn't like Sinners, and I'm going to get into it right now. But before we get into it, you know what comes up first.
Welcome to the Light, Camera, Rant podcast.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Lights, Camera, Rant. As always, I'm your wonderful Mr. Rant, and we are going to be talking about Sinners, which currently right now is the 5th highest grossing movie for 2025, currently with a box office of 200 million, with a budget of 100 million, written and directed by Ryan Coogler, starring Michael B. Jordan and Hailey Steinfeld in these titular roles. And it's a brand new original movie with an outstanding story, a great setting, great music, but there's different parts that's going to break it down to the point where, as I said at the beginning of this video, it didn't sell me and I didn't like it, to the point where as soon as that movie finished, I was a bit like, you know what? I'm not going to watch this again, and I'm going to wait till streaming. So, by all means, Ryan Coogler is a fantastic writer and director. The Creed, the Black Panther movies, he's done a fantastic job. And you can see his passion, his heart and soul in this movie. And currently right now, he did mention the fact that after 25 years, this movie's rights will go back to him, which I know there's been a little controversy online about that. Like, oh my God, why is he getting that? Why is it going back to him? I'm like, there's been other movies previously from other directors where they have a very similar thing, and it's nothing new in Hollywood. I'm telling you right now, it's nothing new. I think it's fantastic the fact that the rights are going back to him after 25 years, because if you write and direct a movie and you do that hard yards into it, not to mention this has also partially been done by his media company as well, I think the rights should go back to you. They should. If you've put your heart and soul into something, it should belong into you. 25 years is a good amount of time. In 25 years, I'm going to be, I'm going to be about nearly on my verge of 60s by the time he gets that movie. And I think that's fantastic. But yeah, people saying, "Oh my God, why is he getting this? Why is he getting that?" Shut the hell up. It's a great thing. It's good for him. You're just adding different elements into this entire conversation that don't need to be there. At the end, he's a director. He's a writer. He's done a great job. He deserves to get the rights back to the movie for what he's done. So this movie is only 138 minutes long. Now, the composer for the movie is Loic Gozzo. I think I say his last name wrong, but who is fantastic right now, and he's absolutely being celebrated for the outstanding work that he's doing on this film. Next up is Odysseus with Christopher Nolan, but he worked on Oppenheimer, he worked on Black Panther, he also worked on The Mandalorian. This man's got a great back catalog that you should check out on Spotify. So that is one of the strong parts of this film, which are outstanding to me. So we get introduced to Michael B. Jordan's character, both Stack and Smoke, which the elements of this movie are playing dual roles, which the last movie I spoke about was, oh my God, I was Mickey 17, which Robert Pattinson did a fantastic job on that dual role. This tops it again to another degree. There's just different scenes in the movie where he's playing these dual roles, and the fact that they're passing things to each other, like a smoke or lighting a smoke, and it's seamless. It's just absolutely seamless, and I'm just watching, going, how the hell have they done that? Like that is great. And that's magic of television, is one my parents used to say, magic of television. But he does a fantastic job in this. Again, I can't really tell you a role which Michael B. Jordan didn't absolutely smash out of the park at all between Black Panther and Creed. And I know he's done other works, but that's just been the top of it. He's done a fantastic job. So we get introduced to them straight off the bat. This movie is set in 1932 in Mississippi, and we get to see these two characters return home, and they're wearing fancy suits. They're World War I veterans, and they're also from Chicago. And what they want to do is they want to open up their own dance club, party club, for for their community in their town, for them to dance at a space. So they go by this place they're going to turn into a club, which is from a sawmill from a bloke called Hogwood, which we all know the type of person that he is. Likes to wear a lot of white, if you get what I mean. They buy the club. When they buy the club, they buy the sawmill. Turn it into a club, and basically the first partial part of the movie is them recruiting everyone for for tonight, which they want to do opening night. So the entire film for this 138-minute movie, this entire film takes is set for just 24 hours. Everything that happens only happens in 24 hours, which is insane to me. Going from top to bottom, watching, just like, holy shit, a lot happens in, hey, we're back, let's open a club, yes, and just watch as the night completely goes downhill from there, because your cousin, Sammy, Preacher Boy, is so good at so good at playing music and the blues that when he plays, he contacts the ancestors, and there is a great scene in this that after the recruiting of getting everyone in town is that Sammy plays at the club, and there is a beautiful scene which I think is shot so good where he's just playing, he's singing his guts out, and his ancestors from different time are all around in this type of shot. So both right now, both the 90s, 80s, even way back to both rock carvings and ancestor times. And it's a great shot, which again, it just proves how good Ryan Coogler is and how this is all done. However, sometimes when you're really good at something, it can turn a little bit bad. So what happens is because he's so good, and because he's talking to the ancestors, it kind of sparks a little interest of a vampire called Rednick, who we see that he stumbles onto a farmer's little cottage, kills those two farmer members, both the husband and wife, turns them into vampires, and finds a club, and this is where everything just starts going downhill for them. Which we also get introduced to Haley Steinfeld's character as well. She's fantastic in this, and I can't wait until she returns back to the MCU as Kate Bishop. I feel like it's been too long. She does a great job of playing this foul mouthed woman that would take no crap, and obviously had a love interest with those two. Which is a little bit back and forth, but she tries to do the right thing. She gets caught on that. Unfortunately, that's how this night goes into it. She gets bitten by the vampire. She goes into the club. She bites Stack, and it turns into a whole madness of vampires versing the boys, their family, and them. And then what happens as well, which is a silly idea, because of what's happening, Stack goes, oh no, everyone smokers, everyone leave, just go home. What do you think's going to happen? As you would predict it. So the first half of this movie is all setting up for the club. The other half turns into a vampire movie. And so it turns into a big fight out at the end, which is both people dropping left, right, and center. Some of the effects was good, but I find some of the things, I feel like there was probably a little bit too much blood, or the blood didn't look right. Like, it looked a little bit fake, but each their own. I haven't seen that much blood in a person in real life, and I don't want to, but it's not something you really went into. But yes, that's probably the fix, and of course, it leads into an epic battle where we do get to see that finally that Sammy does kill Rennick, the main vampire, which drops everyone in the area because of sunrise, because they can't obviously be in daylight because of the sun. So that old vampire rule still stays there, as well as they can't enter a building unless they're being invited, which turns into one of the key moments why Haley Seinfeld's character Mary gets in and causes a little bit of a stir right there. So as we get into that, they kill Rennick. He blows up into smoke, which was a little bit cheesy how he was dying, because he really wanted Sammy, because he's like, I want to know your knowledge. It's very much like, they almost like were like a hive mind, if you will, where every person he brings into it brings in the vampire, he gains their knowledge. Very creepy. So he wanted Sammy's ability to be able to talk to his ancestors and go down that road for some reason. He just said he really wants to connect with them because he's so old and he's been on this planet for a very long time. But unfortunately, you could say that he goes up in smoke. And unfortunately, as well, smoke also does end towards the end of the film, where he does the Hogwarts right at the end, with them trying to kill him. He gets a beautiful send off for him. Beautiful. Sammy though, he goes back to his dad. He's like, I don't want to play music anymore. But then he does change his mind, and he still plays music. Jump forward 60 years, we get to see him playing in a club. He's still kicking it. He's doing fantastic. And we find out that both Haley Steinfeld's character Mary and Anne Stack are still alive because they escaped right at the end. And the fact that Smoke promised him the fact that, I will leave you alone. You're going to go do whatever you want. I won't kill you. Because they're brothers. It's the bond between each other. And they won't do anything. They did offer him to become a vampire, but he said no. But the beautiful thing right at the end is that they both reflect on that night, how fantastic that night was. In 24 hours before everything goes nuts, it's a fantastic night. And it shows everyone celebrating, everyone having a fun time. So the story on that is really good. But I must admit, I don't know if it was because the internet, for me, that was just talking about this movie so hyped up. It did not, as mentioned at the beginning of this video, it did not live up to it. I just felt like half of the story was good, and half the story we kind of went down the road of generic vampire movie. And if we just put this in the category of a vampire movie, it's not. It's in my top 10. It's not in my top 5 vampire movies. Number 1 being Blade. Yeah, it's not up there at all with my top vampire movies. This didn't really, like, it just didn't have that wow. And I'm all for right now in theaters, right now, original story, original writing, no sequels, no reboots, no soft sequels, or nothing of anything like that factor. I fully support that. But going into this movie and coming out of it, it just did not wow me. Best way I can do it, it's good, it's not great. And right now, it is making a shit ton of money at the box office. It is the 5th highest grossing movie of this year. And that's well worth it. Ryan Coogler does deserve that. But at the same time, it didn't really break the mold on movies or original storytelling. Halfway through this movie, if you took the last half of this movie out, and you could have put this into basically been a massive shootout at the end. You could have turned this into a mafia movie, which I wouldn't have minded. Michael B. Jordan in a mafia movie, I don't think I would have minded all that turning into a massive shootout at the end, which you could have slightly still had very similar scenes going on. Would have been fantastic, but at the same time, someone might come and be like, "Well, that just turns into a mafia movie. Where's the originality in that?" But at the same time, like this turning into a vampire movie, I don't know. Just didn't like. It's nothing new, nothing setting on the table. The best thing about this entire movie, that's the original setting, is the music, which is fantastic. That is the most original thing going into this movie. Wow, that is the pinnacle of it. The story, it's slightly lacking together. And look, that's just my take on this. This is probably a movie I won't be watching again. I will recommend it. It is also at the same time, I do feel like you could have put this in basically being a Blade movie. That would have been fantastic. This entire story being a Blade movie set into the MCU. That would have been perfect. And regardless of me saying that this being in the MCU movie, I would still have the same outcome of my review. It would not be different. Because I know some people that do know I'm a big Marvel fan, a big Marvel lover, and we just recently, we just saw Thunderbolts as we're recording this. But it wouldn't change my mind at all. It's still my review on this, still outcome. But if we're putting stars on this, which I did on Letterboxd. So if you haven't already, definitely go follow us on Letterboxd. It's 3.5 stars. That's all. That's all I give it. It's not. It's Trust me when I say the fact that after a few months, when everything dies down, I don't think many people are going to go back to this movie at all. And I could be wrong, and I hope to be proven wrong as well. But look, let me know what you think in the comments on what you thought about this movie. Am I wrong? Is it originally is right there? Or did it just not hit the mark for you as well? I'd love to know. And as always, until next time, happy ranting.
Thanks for listening to Lights, Camera, Rant. If you like the show, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. While you're at it, leave us a rating and review, and be sure to tell your friends. Until next time, happy ranting.